Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is so
Shabbat
wonderful
Shalom.
to welcome you here to Temple Shir Tikva, whether you're joining us in person or if you're at home watching via the live stream on Facebook or YouTube, wherever it is. We are thrilled that you have decided to spend Shabbat with us. And Shabbat really comes as that necessary antidote to the week, a necessary moment to pause, to stop, to reflect, really to take a breath. There's been a lot going on today and this week in general. And we come into this space ready to let go of the week that has been and to enter into this day of rest, of recuperation, a day where we can be closer to the divine in some respect. And so as we begin our Shabbat service, we take a deep breath, a neshima amuka. We breathe in and we breathe out. We breathe in one more time, letting go of the week that has been and preparing ourselves to enter into this space, to enter into Shabbat. And so as we welcome one another into the space, we turn to page 24 as we welcome the Shabbat angels with the words of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni, Baruchuni Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem, Tzedchem Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
As we turn back in our Siddurim to page 2, we come to the lighting of the Shabbat candles. And I'm going to spring this on Gail and see if she'd be willing to come up on behalf of our community to light the Shabbat candles for us, illuminating the darkness, spreading warmth into this space, and allowing us to truly welcome Shabbat together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehad likner shall Shabbat.
So we say
Shabbat
thank you to
shalom.
Gail and to Elliot for lighting the candles for us. And I always say thank
Shabbat.
to Elliot also for my milkshakes, because he keeps providing me a little Shabbat treat as well, as we invite you to return to the community.
Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom. And so as we turn to page 20 and 21, Shabbat is really all about welcoming people in, inviting people into our space and our community, digital and in person. And so as we turn to page 20, 21, it's our opportunity now. We've welcomed the Shabbat angels. We now welcome the Shabbat bride. And so we'll sing the words of Lachadodi with the first, second, fifth, eighth, and ninth verses. And when we get to that ninth and final verse, we'll face towards the door to welcome the Shabbat bride.
Lechadodi likrat kala, yai bye 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 yai bye bye. Penei Shabbat nekabelha, yai bye 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 yai bye. Oh shamoy v'zachor b'dibor echad, hishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad, u'shmo echad. L'shem u'tiferet ve'litila, lechadodi likrat kala, yai ba 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 yai bye bye. Penei Shabbat nekabelha, hai ba 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 yai bye. Oh, likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tehilha, lekadodi likrat kalha, yai ba 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 yai bye bye. Penei Shabbat nekabelha, hai ba 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 yai bye. Oh, hitoreri, ki va'orech uri, shir daberi, kivod Adonai alayk nigna, lechadodi likrat kalha, yai ba 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 yai bye bye. Penei Shabbat nekabelha, yai ba 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 yai bye. Oh, yaminu smol tifrotzi, ve'et Adonai taritzi, al yadish ben parsi, v'nismecha v'nagila, lechadodi likrat kalha, yai ba 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 yai bye bye. Penei Shabbat nekabelha,
We rise facing towards the door.
Yai bye, oh, doi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam v'simcha u'tzola, toch emunei, am segula, boi chala, boi
face back into the community. Turn to page 22 and 11 lines down. Ma gadlu ma'asecha ya. Having welcomed the Shabbat bride, we take a moment now to welcome one another. So if you're in the sanctuary, wave to each other, maybe introduce yourselves from a little bit of a distance just to say hello and welcome one another. And if you're at home, you can give the people in the space with you a hug, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. If you're not with people that you'd like to be with, you can always take out your phone, send them a text message, let them know that you're thinking of them, wish them a Shabbat Shalom, and together we'll be seated. And we continue now on page 26 with the words of the Chatzi Kaddish. Amen. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Olam Me'almaiha Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitbar V'yitromam V'yitnaser V'yitadar V'yitalei V'yitalah Shemei Dekudusha Brichu Leila Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tush Bechata V'nechemata Damiram Le'alma Dehimeru. Amen. On page 28, we rise in body or in spirit for our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu. Are you listening to my prayers? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
If you'll please be seated. We continue together at the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari Varavim.
And on the next page, we read together, everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha u'bechol nafshecha u'bechol me'odecha. Dehayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam v'yishivtecha beveitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shachbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha de'ayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedushim l'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem l'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, emet.
As we turn to page 39 and approach the prayer of Micha Mocha, the symbolism of this moment in our liturgy where we remember the slavery experience of Egypt, the crossing of the sea and the emergence into freedom. We remember being in Mitzrayim, the narrow place, a place of constriction, a place where we could not be free, where we felt that pressure all around us. And as we enter into this prayer, at the bottom of page 39, there's a reading that feels appropriate for today. For many who are parents of school-aged children, today was a day of anxiety. There was a December 17th TikTok viral challenge which threatened events around this country. Thankfully, it seems that the day passed with minimal incident, if any. But it meant that parents sent children to school and children went to school with a sense of nervousness and uncertainty about what lay ahead. That's a form of Mitzrayim. That's a form of narrow place. And there's a question for each one of us about how we can help one another to leave that Egypt behind and to journey through the sea to emerge reborn, where those are the kind of things we don't have to worry about, where that isn't the reality of emails on a Thursday evening from school superintendents creating anxiety for so many, where children can go to school unafraid. And I think that prayer on the bottom of page 39 as our lead-in to Micha Mocha is part of the challenge for each and every one of us to make real. And so we'll read this prayer responsively, not just as a prayer, but as a commitment and as a declaration to do what we can to fulfill these words for ourselves and for our children. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Micha Mocha. Hashkivenu, our prayer for the evening, on page 42.
Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Ve'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim Lechaim Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha.
we turn to page 46 and the Amidah, our standing prayer. We rise in body or in spirit, facing towards the ark and towards the east.
Open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'mevii Geulah Livnei V'leihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei Meitim Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei Meitim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Oholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umidom Elach, Melech Meimit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah le'achayot mehitim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hametim, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kedoshim b'chol yom yahallelu Selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We continue silently with our own private prayers, using the words of our hearts or the words of the Siddur, our prayer book, through until the bottom of page 62. Please feel free to be seated at the conclusion of your prayers.
Page 11, Dodi Li. Dodi Li vani lo harohe, Bashoshanim Dodili Dodili Vanilo Harohen Bashoshanim Dodili Mizot Olamim Hamidbar Mikuteret Mon Ulevana Libavtini Achoti Chalon Achoti Chalon Dodili Vanilo Harohen Bashoshanim Dodili Dodili Vanilo Harohen Bashoshanim Dodili I am for you, you are for me. Bashoshanim Dodili I am for you, you are for me. Bashoshanim Dodili
Beautiful words to end a prayer about our relationship with God and the love that is shared. And thank to Susan and to Cantor Hollis for elevating our prayers with those words and that song. As we turn now in our Siddur to page 253, we recognize that while Shabbat is a day of joy and celebration, there are those amongst us in need of healing. We might add our society in need of healing, a world in need of healing. And so alongside that, we add these names of people that we're thinking of especially this Shabbat. Robert Friedman, Diane McCaslin, Nechama bat Trainer Razil, Jeremy Pivor, Devorah bat Bunye, Lisa Shapiro, Sarah Fager bat Malka, Ethan Kadish, Mark Lampert, Barbara Ziman, Yaakov ben Sarah Leah, Pazia bat Leah, Eliza Dorfman, Nachum ben Razil, Yitzchak David ben Sarah Leah, Wendy Gully, Abba Noach ben Yehudit, Stanley Sakowitz, Sam Goldenberg, Yaakov Yosef ben Avraham, Pinchas Aaron ben Shalom Mordechai v'Sarah Leah, Avivia Sigalit bat Devorah, Susan Hoyer, Lily Stander, Tyson Patinus, Pam Ross, Ron Abramson, Leah bat Fagela, Susan Scheller, Julian Arce, Natana Eliori, Yitzchak bat Shoshana Gila, Joyce Pastor, Dee Lurie, Gemma Rose Nicoletti, Motol Lieb, Yoshua Yitzchak ben Gela Brea, Dina Lutin, Saul Munvas, Barbara Holtz, Eleanor Lustig, Barbara Lanzett, Noli Platt, David Feldman, Julie Elizabeth, Peter Gross, Moshe Yoel ben Esther Avraham, Emma Held, Hadassah Rachel bat Hannah Leah, Eli Lerner, Dalia Harel, Malia Yusik, Stephen Rose, Ali Brockman, Joan Friedman, Sarit Liat bat Penina Sarah, Richard Kirstein, Golda bat Udi, Baruch ben Genya, Harav and Nechama bat Yaakov of Vernice, Yosef ben Gittel, Mordechai ben Moshe, Meah Abba ben Ruvin, Georgia Elizabeth Hummel, Barb Scaglione, Jim Solomon, Romildo Siqueira, Herb Levine, Leslie Rosenblatt, Kylan Handren and her newborn Raven Notram, Jerry Rosenstein, Theodore Merkin, James Nicoletti, Kelly Lane, Yehuda Ben Avram, and Michael Eliastam. If there are other names that you're thinking of, please share them as I now look around the room.
Yocheved bat Elka Elena Mail.
We join together with this prayer for healing.
Mi sheberach avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, U'ivarach et ha'cholim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu yamalei rachamim aleihem, lehachalimam urabotam lechachazikam, וישלח להם מהירה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, השתבח בזמן קריב, ונאמר אמן.
As we approach the end of another calendar year, alongside the celebrations of the holiday season, a new tradition has developed around the celebration of individuals as heroes or people of the year. In certain circles, it feels like we wait with bated breath to hear who Time magazine will select for the annual honor of appearing on their front cover and being hailed as Person of the Year. This year, the coveted title went to Elon Musk, and immediately the debate began over whether he was worthy. Far be it from me to second-guess the wisdom of the journalists at Time magazine. And while many might question whether Musk's character flaws and some of his questionable business dealings should disqualify him, I was struck by one quote about him. He wants eternal glory for doing great deeds, and he is an asset to the human race because he defines a great deed as something that is great for humanity. There's a lot to unpack there. But if the aim is to do great deeds for humanity, let's ignore the personal glory part for a moment. Then from a Jewish perspective, I can start to get on board. And while Time magazine's selection might garner the most column inches, I am always more interested in following CNN, who has established an annual tradition of celebrating heroes. This is my favorite award ceremony, as it celebrates everyday people doing extraordinary things to change the world. I look forward to reading the stories about the nominees, to watching the amazing videos about the finalists, and to being inspired by the idea that each and every one of us has the power to make a positive difference. This year, as Temple Shir Tikva, we cannot mention the CNN heroes of 2021 without recognizing that our very own Jeff Feingold was nominated and featured as one of this year's heroes for the work that he does with Hope and Comfort, a non-profit established by his family to address hygiene insecurity. Through Hope and Comfort, Jeff and his family have done amazing work in helping people to gain access to basic items such as shampoo, soap, and toothpaste, which are both expensive and not available through food stamp benefits. They are undoubtedly heroes for the work that they are doing. Along with Time and CNN, I want to jump on the bandwagon. And while I'm not yet ready to commit to having Rabbi Danny's Hero of the Year as an annual Temple Shir Tikva event, I do feel that this year there is a group who have gone unrecognized for their strength, their resilience, and their heroism, not only in 2021, but during the pandemic as a whole. We have rightly celebrated the healthcare workers who have been in the trenches witnessing firsthand the real ravages of this terrible disease. We have also deservedly acknowledged the wisdom of the scientists and medical professionals who have been developing treatments and vaccines to fight this pandemic. We should be cheering for our teachers who have ensured that our children have received an education and stability amidst the chaos. And we have, perhaps belatedly, finally recognized and appreciated all of those frontline workers whose day-to-day endeavors, often unnoticed, ensure that our society functions and that we can live our lives. They are all heroes, worthy of our praise, gratitude, and appreciation. But this year, my hero, often unsung, unnoticed, and unappreciated, is the children. Each and every one of them who have been living through this pandemic alongside us, who have suffered through this pandemic with us, and who have actually been a shining and inspiring light throughout. we as adults have struggled to make sense of what is happening around us. We were thrust into a new reality with little warning and almost no preparation. And we have done our best to make good, safe, and sensible choices for ourselves and our loved ones. But the children don't have the same agency or formal power that we do. And so they have had a pandemic happening around them and have been forced to adjust their lives without a voice or a vote. We might not like all of the decisions that our national, state, and local leaders have made during this pandemic, but we at least have the power of a vote to make our voices heard when our children do not. Early on, we were told that the best protection against this disease was to wear a mask. And while we adults fussed and complained about the inconvenience of a piece of material covering our noses and our mouths, the children wore their masks. When they returned to in-person schooling, they put those masks on in the morning and they kept them on throughout the day. And while I'm sure that there has been the odd moan or grumble, they have just got on with it because they were doing their bit to protect each other so that life and school could resume. It would be nice if we adults could follow their example. The children masked up when we told them to, doing their bit to protect one another and our society. And now they are getting vaccinated, once again playing their part in protecting us all. If we look at the impact and effect of COVID, then we know that it is often mildest for the children who have age on their side in fighting the disease. So if vaccination is seen only as being about protecting the individual, then questions might be asked about the necessity of our children being vaccinated. But if vaccination is about the communal and collective good, our responsibility to society, then of course we all, children included, have to get vaccinated. And I know from the conversations and social media posts how many of our TST children have had their vaccination. Once again, doing their bit, uncomplaining, although maybe screaming at the moment, as they help to ensure that we are all protected. The children are the unsung heroes of this pandemic. They are the ones who have set an example for us all to follow. They are the ones who have sacrificed so much, and they are the ones who have played their part in helping to protect us all. In this week's Torah portion, we come to the end of the book of Bereshit, the book of Genesis, and the patriarch Jacob is about to die. As you may recall, Jacob has 12 adult male children who are with him in Egypt. But as he prepares to offer the final blessing, he initially skips that generation and goes to the children, to Ephraim and Manasseh. He declares, "By you shall Israel invoke blessings, saying, God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh." Jacob understood the significance of the children as being worthy recipients of his blessing, and also as the blessing which would carry the future generations forward. We don't really know much about who Ephraim and Manasseh were, but to this day, the traditional blessing given to boys on Shabbat is to declare, "May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh." We don't know what that really means, because we don't know who they really were. I think, therefore, at its core, the blessing is saying, you are blessed to be children. We are blessed by you as children, and collectively, you and all the children bring blessing into the world. In biblical language, the children are a blessing. In our contemporary language, the children are heroes. As adults, at this time, we do not have all the answers to the questions that our children are asking. I have no response for why we are being forced to live through a pandemic. I do not know enough to explain exactly how COVID is spread and why it is so important to take all the precautions that we do. And I cannot offer any degree of certainty on when or if this will be over or what life will look like after the pandemic. So what can I do? What can we do to repay the heroes and show our children how grateful we are for all that they are doing at this difficult time? The first thing is that we need to tell them. We need to let them know how proud of them we are, how impressed we are, and the ways in which they are giving us strength. The point of naming a hero is to celebrate them, reinforce their actions, and help reinvigorate them to continue forward. That's what we need to do for our children. They need to know that we see them and all that they are doing, and that they are our heroes. And then as adults, we need to ensure that our communities, be they synagogues, schools, or towns, are adequately and appropriately set up to support the children. Our society is suffering a mental health crisis, but it is especially prevalent amongst the young. Last week, the US Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, issued an advisory to highlight the urgent need to address the nation's youth mental health crisis. Our children, our heroes, are experiencing unprecedented challenges and mental angst, and they cannot cope with this on their own. We have a responsibility to ensure that they are supported in ways that help them navigate this difficult moment that we are all living through. I believe that we have done this at Temple Shir Tikva by shifting to a Musar curriculum in Hineni, our religious school. We are focusing on their social and emotional well-being through a Jewish lens and giving them tools through Midot, the character traits, to navigate their way through the world. But there is more that can be done to support the children and their mental health directly, and also to ensure that the adults in their lives have the tools and resources to truly be there for them. I don't usually make specific requests at the end of my sermons. I usually hope that people will take from them what is meaningful and relevant to their lives. But today I do want to ask something specific. To the adults, please go to the children in your lives, and I want you to do two things. I want you to tell them in your own words how proud you are of them and why they are heroes. But I also want you to ask them how they are doing and what they need. Listen to their answers and let us know what they are saying so that together we can find a way to offer them what they need as a small token of our appreciation and a support that is so richly deserved. And to the children of our community, I want you to know how proud I am of you. You have amazed me with your strength and resilience over this past year. You are my heroes, and you have given me strength and picked me up when I have needed it the most. What I want to say to you, most simply, is just thank you. Thank you for so much. In so many ways, you are the best of us and the promise of a brighter future. Shabbat Shalom. We turn back to our Siddurim to page 282. We rise in body or in spirit for the words of Aleinu.
Yesher koach. Aleinu l'shabeach lahadon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, לתקן עולם במלכות שדי, ונאמר בהיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
As we turn to page 294 in our Mourner's Kaddish, we never conclude a service without sacred memory, remembering our loved ones who are no longer with us. This Shabbat we remember the yard sites of Lewis Adams, Mary Jane Bear, Billy Blum, Annalise Bohm, Hannah Borowitz, Jeanette Cooper-Nichols, Ben Kaufman, Helen Levitt, Stephen Lipson, Bernard Passman, Beatrice Polanski, Alexander Akleen, Linda Robin, Selma R. Roberts, Pearl Salmon, Seal Shalov Steinberg, Seymour Udoff, Nellie Weinberg, Elaine Winograd, Leonard Yaker, and Carrie Yales. And during the month of Shloshim, we remember Sandy Block, the uncle of Alison Weichel, Bruce Huntley, the grandfather of Andy Watson, and Alyssa Honeyman, the sister of Jason Honeyman. If there are other names you're remembering, please share them as I look around the room. For all those we name out loud and for those we name in our hearts, we join together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bi'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. B'galal v'zman kariv imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'me'el maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitada v'yitalei v'yitalal shmei dekutsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Dam iran ba'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Zichronam livracha. May their memories always be for a blessing. And let us say, Amen. As we turn in our Siddur to page 5, as we prepare to make Kiddush, just a few announcements to mention. We want to let you know that we have a really wonderful speaker coming on January 9th, when our Environmental Action Committee will be welcoming back our very own Jeremy Peevor to lead us in conversation about planetary health. He's done so much work on this subject and was very involved in the Sao Paulo Declaration on planetary health, and so he's going to talk to us about where Judaism and the environment, the intersection. It promises to be a really fascinating conversation with one of our own children from here at Temple Shir Tikva. Just a reminder that for the next 2 Shabbatot, on December 24th and December 31st, our building will be closed, but the services will still be taking place online. You can join us the usual way via the live stream, both on Friday night, on Shabbat morning. Torah study will still be taking place, but the offices in the building are going to be closed from the midday December 24th till January 2nd, giving the staff a much-needed week of vacation. But of course, the clergy are always available if you need us, so we will be there. You can call the office number and you'll be able to get hold of us as and when you need us. We turn to page 5 as we join together in these words of Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, urei piri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ava uv'ratzon, hinchilanu, zikron le'maseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila lemikrai kodesh, zecher l'sihat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'chalta ve'otanu kidashta im kol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ava uv'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen.
We say thank you to Susan DeSelms for her beautiful music in this service, to John and to Richard who make sure all the tech runs, and to Cantor Hollis. It's always a pleasure being with you. And we join together in this closing again.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Good Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.